I will build something new every single day for the next 31 days. This October, or should I say Blocktober, I will be creating a unique autumn-themed build each day on these 35 by 35 plots. No limitations, no added difficulties, just autumnal builds designed to spark inspiration. And every Sunday, I will be posting my progress for the previous week. If you want to attempt the challenge yourself, share your builds with me on Discord or Twitter, and if you want to join in but don't have the time, send me build ideas and suggestions instead. Also, at the end of the month, there will be a world download so you can explore my builds in person. Let's get into it. When I think of October, the first thing that comes to my mind is pumpkins. So to ease myself into the challenge, I decided to do an upscaled organic of a pumpkin. At first, I just wanted to go bare bones and do a regular pumpkin patch, but after some thought, the idea clicked to make it into more of a pumpkin village. I added some crooked fairy tale windows and a cute stone chimney, as well as a bright blue front door, which really complements the bright oranges of the pumpkin skin. Once I was happy with the build, I moved it over to the plot where I began to terraform the ground. On the left, I added a simple rustic path up to the front door, whilst in the bottom right, I placed down a miniature pumpkin patch. As a fun little detail, I turned the largest pumpkin into a kennel for a pet fox. I then built a second pumpkin, which I will admit looks very similar to a certain pineapple under the sea, complete with a door, a chimney, and a set of windows once again. I finished off with a custom autumnal tree above the pumpkin patch, which has a lovely blackstone tire swing beneath it. Here is a look at the build with shaders. As you can see, we have a nice rustic path leading up to the house over here. I really like the details of the windows here, the chimney here, and the little plant pots at the front. Also, there's a cool little sign at the front pointing to Potatoville, Aubergine Town, and Squash City. Then around the side over here, this is the SpongeBob SquarePants house. That's what I'm going to call it. Even though it is meant to be a pumpkin, it does look very much like that. If you go in through the door, there is an interior to all of these houses, a nice kitchen, a bedroom up there, things like that. And then to the side, there is a nice little front garden with a vegetable patch and some sunflowers. Then if you take the path around the side, there's also the pumpkin patch over here. And yes, I did include a little kennel for this fox, which is called Pumpkin Spice, which is a cute little name. There's some pumpkins around the front, a scarecrow, really cute. Then if you follow the path around the back as well, there's the autumnal custom tree with the tire swing, which is also really sweet. I like these roots hanging down from the bottom. There's some lamppost designs and a nice little well over here, which goes down into the depths of darkness. And then round here, there's a nice little back garden to this house, which gives you access to the building itself. There's a living room with a bathroom under the stairs, and then there's a bedroom at the top as well with a cool little double bed design. Really pleased with it. I think this turned out really nice. A common thing you'll see me doing is isolating the main build itself, which allows me to ignore the plot boundaries and focus on the organic itself before moving on to the surroundings. For this build, I wanted to go full fairy tale, and I've always pictured the Middle Eastern fairy tale Red Riding Hood as more of an autumnal one. So here is my recreation of Orange Riding Hood, frolicking along a woodland road to her grandmother's. Let's just hope there aren't any wolves nearby. For the flooring, I mostly used a world edit brush to paint in the fallen leaves and the path before going in and adding grass patches, details, and slabs in by hand. I also used world edit brushes for the tree as well, using the sphere brush for both the trunk and the leaves, and then adding in the falling leaves, branches, and texturing in by hand. Overall, this is certainly my favourite of this week. It just creates such a cozy, childish vibe. I love it. This one has got to be my favourite so far. It's just a cute little diorama, and I think the position for this is particularly dynamic and just works really well. Creates a lot of movement in this scene. I like the costume and the texturing and the detail. I will admit the face is a bit lacking. Oh, by the way, I am in my Halloween 2021 skin. You can call me Count Orvian. It does look a bit strange, but once you get the whole thing in picture, it actually looks quite normal. Because it is hard building faces at such a small scale, you really can't blame me. I do also really like the tree over here. I did actually change the angle slightly just so it looks a bit more fluid and natural. And the leaves look really nice as well, just falling down, just creating a really nice atmospheric scene. Yes, I know, a few of these are technically out of the boundaries. There are no limitations, okay? I did specify at the start. It doesn't really matter if I go out slightly. As you might have guessed, I had a lot less time for this third and final build, so I decided to downscale and just focus on the organic with a more basic backdrop. The fox itself was fairly easy to make due to the rather straightforward shape, which allowed me to go in and focus on the fine details instead. Admittedly, it looks a little derpy from certain angles, but I think I did a good job adding character to the face and making a nice detailed image. The floor itself is a typical woodland floor. I used world edit brushes to texture the ground with podzol and dirt, as well as adding a muddy puddle in the upper right. Finally, I added some grass with world edit to break up the rather analogous colour palette, and I think it turned out really nice. We need a name for this fox over here. He's so derpy looking. Give him an equally derpy name in the comments below. He looks so lovely. I really like the shape of it. I did go for a fairly simple one just because I didn't have too much time for this day. But I am really pleased with how it turned out. You've got the front paws over here and the side paws as well. And then you've got the body. It's mostly just a cone shape with a tail popping out. And then the face, which I put the most detail into. You can see I have used the debug stick a bit in places, but I think it does add to the overall detail, and it does create just for a really cool little organic. The ground itself is really nothing too special. There's just some grass. There's actually a few mistakes over here which should not exist, and there's a muddy puddle over here, but I think this overall creates a nice cute little scene and really puts the focus on the fox itself, whereas this is more of a focus on the tree and the orange riding hood. This is mostly just the fox, which I think is a cool scene for the build in general.